We're live.
What's going on, guys? How are you today? Got me and only me. Christian's going to be hopping off here, but Christian, thanks for getting us set up to get this out to the viewership. You truly are an inspiration and an asset to the company.
Yes, as always, bro.
This is
thanks,
fun.
Man. We got something really, really cool in store, and I'm excited about
it. Yeah, no, I am too. I think I've seen it a lot on other channels, and it's something that we've, kind of been lacking in as far as like content, which is live seller calling, live calls. I know I've recorded a bunch of calls, and I think we've gotten some of those out. I know Chris has done that quite a bit and put that out there, but none of them have been live, and live is just so authentic. It's real, it's raw. There's no chance for edits. You're going to see the mess ups, the mistakes, you're going to see the victories and the successes, but everything's going to be real time, guys. It's going to be like you're sitting right next to me. So,
and maybe the tears, are we going to see some tears?
Hopefully no tears.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hopefully, then you'll see
then you'll see everything. I want to make sure I have this one pulled up here. Give me a sec, because I want to make sure I can see comments. All right, cool. All right, guys, we're going to get into it. Where should I put this? Probably right here. All right, we're going to get into this in a second. Actually, you know what? I'm going to need to take my earphones out so you guys can hear you guys may hear calls coming in. Those aren't for me. Those are for our VAs that are using our launch control account. So anyways, can you hear that, Christian? Anybody else?
Oh yeah, you're coming through.
Okay, perfect. Kenneth, what's up, my man? Hey, appreciate the kind words. Yeah. Stay tuned. We got a lot coming in the form of curriculum and build outs and processes that you guys are going to be able to use for free. And so, yeah, stay tuned, Ken. If you like that stuff, we're actually going to we're building out currently right now curriculum for the on-market offer system, the disposition system, and I think the first thing that we should be having coming out is going to be the VA hiring system. And so that'll be a kind of a 3-tiered approach to get you guys scaled. And that's just the start. We're going to be putting a lot of effort and energy into that. So you guys are good. I mean, nobody's doing this type of stuff. Nobody. I mean, this is all free content that we're building out in module form for you guys to be able to take a look at. So
now usually means that it's not worth a lot, but in this case, I literally went to college for instructional design. I helped build one of the nation's largest real estate investing education and financial literacy companies in the entire world. And I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of students that paid 50, 60, 75 grand for the training courses that I developed with the team. Starting from the ground floor, I was there for over a decade. So the point that he's making, sure, it's free. We're just taking our expertise and we're putting it out there, and we have deliverables and systems and stuff that you can pay for that's going to be shortcuts to make it easier, but all of the training is absolutely free. And that's the way that we want to keep it, so that those people who are taking action can actually learn without having to put money up to invest and then behind a paywall, only to discover later, if maybe you just got in real estate, this might not be for you, because it's not for everybody, but it will make you successful and financially free and all those buzzwords, if you stick with it. That's why we do real estate investing. So I just wanted to underscore that really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully I didn't, negate its value by saying it's free. There's tens of thousands of dollars worth of value that'll be going into it that we're going to be giving you guys for free, so you guys can do what we're doing. Quit your day job, spend more time with family, blah, 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 blah. So That being said, this video, guys, is going to be me just getting on calls with sellers. I mean, I think the most valuable content isn't the pre-recorded, flashy edited stuff. I think it's going to be like just live day-to-day operation, especially if you guys are new, or you just want to put my process up against what you're doing every day, kind of see where you're at, and see what other investors are doing. As far as their like daily routine goes, what seller calls sound like, and just, see as a reference point. Because a lot of guys are out on an island and they don't know what other people are doing. Maybe they're in communities, but they aren't actually seeing what's happening in the other investors day to day. So I think that's going to be a lot of value. But I am going to get right into it because it's 11:09 my time. And I had a call scheduled for me through our setters. That was at 11. And we're going to get right into it. So just to give you the background on this lead, the lead's actually an agent. This was one of the newer setters. So kind of just want to highlight, like, not every lead that you're going to get with some of the generation sources that you guys have are going to be the best, like top tier leads. That's just the reality of it, especially when you got newer people coming in that aren't completely trained and vetted and have all the experience that's needed to generate solid leads. So this one's not necessarily the best lead, but I think every lead has an opportunity. So I'm not going to discount it. We're going to hop on the phone with Andres. He's an agent out in San Francisco. This property is a duplex that is fully gutted. Looks like they're in the middle of a remodel. He is claiming from the seller's notes that the ARV is around what, where did he say? He's got comps. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Comps down the road a bit at 3.6 and 3.9. That were brand new construction. Okay. And this is obviously not. This is going to be a flip let's see, where's the and this was built in 1908. Can't comp those, it's really hard to say, like, what that variance is, but you can't use new construction comps on a property that was built in 1908. So I'm just going to get right into it because I know that's what you guys want to see. And, don't be too harsh in the comments, guys. Okay. All right, here we go. If you guys can't hear, the audio is not great. Just let me know in the comments. I'll see if I can fix anything.
This is Andres.
Hey, Andres.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Brad Garcia.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing good. Can't complain.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to in San Francisco. Can't imagine you guys doing too bad out there.
You can argue the opposite.
All right, that was a test. I really wanted to see where you're at with that. So I'm glad you.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's rough out there from what I hear, but I wanted to connect with you on Rhode Island Street, 74749 Rhode Island Street. I think you spoke with my assistant Erica briefly the other day about it.
I did.
Okay. Yeah, Phil, bring me up to speed. She's got the handwriting of a doctor, and so I just need you to kind of fill in.
Sure, I'll give you the elevator pitch on it, man.
Perfect.
So 747-749 Rhode Island is a property that last sold in 2021. My clients purchased it pretty much at the top of the market. They paid $2,250,000 for it. They're first-time home buyers. Biting out more than they could chew. I was not representing them at the time.
Yeah.
And that was kind of their situation. It was a multiple offer situation back then. Property ended up getting 5 offers, and it went where it had to go for them to get it. So long story short, they got in with a bad contractor, who started pulling over-the-counter permits. Guys started doing more work than the permits allowed, right? Because you're technically not allowed to demo unless you have approved plans, which they did not have.
Yes.
So it was kind of a mess. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for them.
Wow.
They're not distressed sellers though. They got plenty of money. They're fine financially, right? They've been holding on to this $10,000 a month mortgage for the past 2 years comfortably.
Okay.
But they do want to test the market and hope to get the property sold. So here's the potential or value add for an investor, if you will. So this property is in Potrero Hill, which is one of the best neighborhoods in San Francisco, on the east side of the city. Very sunny. It's close to the 101, the 280. There's a Caltrain station in Potrero Hill as well, and it's very close to a lot of tech hubs, right? As well as medical over on the Mission Bay side. So this property is right across the street from a very interesting development. It's an Indian developer that made this project over the years, and it's across the street from a 2-unit luxury condo development. The top floor just closed for $3.6 million, and the one below is still available for $3.95 million. So needless to say that the street itself can support some very high price points. Okay. If somebody's able to come, potentially build up, add parking, there's definitely a lot of meat on the bones for this deal. And then there's a couple other deals that I referenced on there, all closed this year, 830 and 834 Rhode Island. Those are both like 3-unit condo buildings, where both of the units that have closed so far were at 1.9 and 1.95, and these are 2 beds, 2 baths. So the price per square foot for these very turnkey condos, and these smaller buildings are going between $1,400 and $1,500 a foot, even now, which is pretty crazy to think.
Yeah, definitely. The ones across the street that's a new build, right?
That's a brand new build.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. So we probably won't be able to get up to that valuation with this property. I'd imagine at 1908 year built here on this one, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, if you look at the tax record on that, I believe, it might still actually hold the original construction date. I'd have to verify that. But again, a lot of these older buildings, they pretty much bring them down to just only leaving one wall or one stud, and they're still able to really construct these brand new properties, but they still carry that like 1908 year of construction, if you will.
Got it. What's holding that? If they're not in a financial position that's, forcing a sale, why aren't they just, getting a new contractor and doing this themselves? I mean, it sounds like they can financially support that, and sounds like if what you're saying is true, they can.
So they had a kid recently, and she's actually pregnant for number 2, right? And could literally just go. They could just go and buy a $2.5 million house that's turnkey and not have to deal with the hassle, right?
Was this for? Okay, so this purchase was to build and renovate for their primary residence. They weren't flipping it.
Correct. Yeah, these weren't investors. These were owner end users.
All right, got it. And they don't want to do this as like a project that can certainly.
I mean, that's kind of like last option for them. And honestly, they really wouldn't even maximize the potential of the property. They would probably just work with the envelope, and make something for them. But honestly, I've kind of advised them against that. Because the plans that they had an architect draw up for them are really just working with the shell of the house, and to do that, they could easily spend $1 million, be all in this property at 325, and that property is not worth that if they do that work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what I'm concerned about at this price point is like, the kind of that same thing is not being able to push that ARV at, that's going to make it worth it with the cost of the renovation and, the cost of financing right now. It's just so high. Let me back you up here because I'm curious. You mentioned something you didn't represent them on the sale. I'd imagine you're saying that because you would have advised them against purchasing at 225. Am I wrong about that?
No, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, because these guys were under the impression that this was like a single family home, and it's not. It's a legal 2-unit building, right?
Right.
They paid a BSF of a single family on a multi-unit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but with that said, there were still offers that were above 2 on the table, and we have a French family that lives in the neighborhood. They're owners of a few successful businesses, and they actually bid on the property. They just came by again this weekend to see it.
Oh, they did?
And it looks like they're still kind of circling and showing some interest. So
Okay.
where that go, that's to be determined. But obviously, this property has to be a cash deal because it's not habitable.
Yeah. Do you think they have the means, cash, to make that happen? And do they do projects like this, or are they?
Yeah, these people have done renovations. They've owned properties and they've done renovations, and I would assume that they do have the money to actually be able to pull the trigger on this.
Okay.
This isn't a property that you bring on the market and it flies off the shelf in a week. Honestly, I think this is going to take a few weeks to a few months to actually find the buyer for it. I did show the property to the developer that did 714 and 716 Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And he's kind of asking questions about it. He wants to know if the loan is assumable, which I doubt it, but the owners are checking because they do have a really low, like 3, maybe even sub 3 interest rate on it. So I think that would kind of change the game a little bit if that were to be assumable, but I'm not holding my breath for it.
Okay. Well, going that route, that kind of, brings up some other questions. When they purchased the property back in, you said it was July 2021, I think is what I saw.
Sure.
What,
Yep.
did they didn't pay outright for that? I'm sure they put a down payment towards that. And
yeah, and
okay.
they're losing all that money, right? They're okay walking away from that.
Yeah, sure.
They're losing what, I don't know, 400 or 500K.
Yeah. What's their balance right now on that loan?
I want to say like 1.8, somewhere around there.
1.8. Okay. Oh wow. Yep. Okay. So they're taking a pretty major haircut on this if they're selling it on the market this way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I mentioned earlier, like the cost of the financing is going to be a huge hurdle, which is I'm sure why that other developer is asking if it's assumable.
Yeah. Have you guys done deals in San Francisco in the past?
I have partners that I think would be really interested in something like this, but the terms would need to be such that they could actually get into it and make money. Are they opposed to any creative financing? Like, let's just say the loan's not assumable and there's another way that we can take over the mortgage and get into this deal. Are they opposed to that? Or are they just?
They're not. They're not.
Okay.
They're open to creative financing, if you will. Kind of taking into account that their loan could be viewed as an asset.
I agree. At a sub 3 interest rate, that's a huge asset right now. Okay, yeah.
Again, I mean, a project like this, probably, the turnaround time probably puts you in a better market, I would assume. I mean, I don't foresee the market getting much worse here in San Francisco, right? Like we have been the hardest hit in all of the United States. And like the numbers are showing that, pendings are up, listings going, selling above asking are up, days on market are starting to trend down.
Yeah.
Again, that obviously could do a lot with seasonality. But at the end of the day, I'm seeing that a lot of people here that don't need to sell, and like that's just the reality of the Bay. There's a lot of people that, they have plenty of equity. They locked in low interest rates. And they're okay just riding this out to better days. And that's kind of making some people become, landlords, maybe not by choice, but by just not wanting to sell their property at a number that they can't stomach.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I would tend to agree with you. I'd see that trend like I'm here in San Diego. That's kind of the trend here as well. I would venture to say seasonality probably has a lot to do with it. The buyer and seller sentiments, interest rates, and just like the market as a whole, I think, play a part in that, they're just like, well, we'll refinance, when rates come down. I do, hear whispers of them increasing, over the summer. But yeah, after I think once this, it's probably at least a 6 month, if not longer, renovation hold time, then we might be in a better market, better place to sell. But it sounds like they're just at the price point that they're selling at, with the commissions that they're going to have to pay and what they owe on the loan. They're really just trying to get out from under this thing.
Again, they don't need to, and in full disclosure, Brad, at asking, they're not selling that property. Their bottom line number has to be 1.9. I mean, this isn't going to be a short sale necessarily, right? They pretty much just want to be able to walk away and pay off the loan and call it a day.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
These folks are definitely not sellers at 1.75. So I do also want to set that expectation. We did list it low to kind of be, on par with some of the fixtures or some of the lots and land that's available in the but I've definitely been setting that expectation. That's just kind of where they're at.
Okay.
And again, these folks went back to the French family back in 21. This French family offered 2.1, which I think they were very silly to not. I was also not with them then. They were still kind of going through their previous agent, doing the rounds, contacting listing agents, saying, hey, which other parties offered on this home, and just kind of touching base with them. But again, these folks still seem to be in the mix, and end user is obviously going to pay more than a developer will, right?
Do you think they're buying it to
how residential sales goes?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about them being flippers, though. Are they going to be end users, or are they going to flip it?
No. No. This would not be a flip for them. This would not be a flip for them.
Yeah. Okay.
They live in the neighborhood already. They rehab their property. And they're saying, hey, we're thinking about doing a reno again on our home. But if we were to get this, we would actually just stop that, or like not even go with that, and then just renovate this one and move into it. Okay. Again, man, Ventura Hill is a beautiful neighborhood. We got co-founder of Pandora lives there. There's a lot of very highly successful, high net worth people that live in that neighborhood.
Sure, yeah.
There's plenty of $3, $4, $5 million sales. If you look on 20th in Wisconsin, there was one they tried selling last year, but they were unsuccessful. But that property was listed at $9.5 million, which it's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 blocks away from this one.
Sure.
So there's potential there for somebody that's going to realize it.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be on the phone if there wasn't potential. I agree. I think there's potential. Yeah. It's just, how do we get into it in a way that it pencils out on paper, but back to your point. So what 175 is not the number. You guys actually want to, at 1.9, that allows them to pay off to get out from under the loan and, obviously pay your commissions.
Pay commission and transfer tax.
Okay, got it. All right. So they're not necessarily really even looking to walk away with anything, with the exception of paying you and paying off the loan.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
They're not making any money. I think that's a guarantee.
Got it. Well, then in that case, I think a creative route for us is going to be a way to align both of our interests. Because there is a way.
How would you guys go about structuring something like that out of curiosity?
Yes. Great question.
Open conversation here.
Yeah. I mean, right. We're just spitballing at this point. I have no idea if the numbers really even work, but I just need to know whether or not you guys are open to it, which, it sounds like you guys are. But, the purchase price isn't necessarily what, we have to overcome. It's just going to be whether or not we can take over the loan subject to, and then pay you out your commissions and closing costs. So essentially what we would be doing, because I would be buying an entity, and entities can't assume loans. So whether or not the loan is assumable doesn't really matter. What I'd be looking to do is taking over the mortgage subject to. And so we would be taking over payments. The mortgage would stay in place. We would pay out your commissions and pay the closing costs at the close of escrow. And then essentially I'd be getting my financing at a much lower rate than if I had to go and get a new loan to pay off this old debt, which in that case, the banks are just making money and nobody else is. So the way I would structure is we would just take over the loan. We'd be paying those mortgage payments every month. And I'd have a much lower financing cost that would allow me to get in, do the renovations. Obviously we're coming to the closing table, paying your commissions and, at retail resale, we can have a conversation about, obviously you relisting and double dipping on this so that you're getting the commissions on the back end as well.
Sure. Cool. And then these types of deals, I'm assuming you run these by, your local guys, right? Because obviously, you definitely need people on the ground here that know how feeling and dealing and that stuff.
Oh yeah,
100% all goes down, right?
Yep. I got partners in San Francisco that would go. There'd be boots on the ground. Obviously, I'd probably lean on you as well. If I needed to get in or do anything like that. And in this case, we'd be having you either rep us on the buy side and or repping us on the retail resale. So I'm always looking to create new relationships with agents in markets that I'm doing deals in. So we definitely be leaning on you as well. But yeah, that's the first hurdle really is going to be talking with the seller to see if they're open to that. And then what I can do is,
like I said, they are. We've had that combo with them previously, and they were the ones that actually brought it up themselves. Now they were talking about being like some sort of like equity partnership or anything like that. Again, that's something that you can more or less discuss. But I've told them, hey, just if you're able to get your number, just get out of it. Just stop. Right. So,
all right, great.
But again, these are all things to kind of keep in mind there in case you have like option A and option B in terms of how creative financing portion could work.
Okay, fantastic. What is your commission percentage at right now? I see the buyer's at 2.5.
For this particular property, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have this listed at 5%. If you represent both the buy and the sell side, it's down to 4%.
Okay, great. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I knew what I would be having to come, because essentially that would be part of our entry fees is closing costs and your commission. So yep. Just wanted to know. So yeah, all right. Okay, great. Well, if they're already open to it, I think the next step for us is going to be to run numbers on what it's going to take to get the value out of it, knowing that we're coming in at a lower financing cost. I will need, whenever you have a chance, I'll text you my email. But I will need a recent mortgage statement so we can run, precise numbers.
Can you repeat that one more time?
I'll just need a recent mortgage statement to run the numbers.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
I can see if they have that available, and we'll be in touch.
Okay.
So anything else that you would need besides that?
Anything else that is, you mentioned, transfer tax, anything else that, I would be needing to come out of pocket at closing, would be helpful.
No, that's pretty much all it is. It's just commissions and transfer tax.
All right. Fantastic. Then that's it for now. And then once I have my underwriter take a look and we kind of have a plan in place, let's link back up. Most likely I'll have you on with my finance manager, Chris, to kind of run through everything and get it set up. And if it works, then I can get my TC to get you guys docs and start moving on this.
Good deal, man. So I should just wait to hear back from you. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, this is my direct line. So if you need to get in touch with me, you can call or text me anytime. But yeah, I'll be reaching out here probably by the end of the week.
Brad Garcia, right?
That's right.
Good deal, man. I'll go ahead and save you on my phone. And remind me, you guys are what is it, Lazar Property Group, or what is it again?
Yeah, Lazarus Property Group. Yep.
Lazarus Property Group.
Yes,
cool,
sir.
Man. Good deal. I look forward to staying in touch.
All right. Thanks, Andres. Talk to you soon.
All right. See you, Brad. Bye.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. That was a call with an agent, and we were able to come to getting over the first hurdle, I guess. So a couple of things, right? You guys put any feedback you have for me in the comments below, but just so you guys know, based on my already underwritten comps, we're going to take a second look at them because it is a duplex, and if there is other value add opportunities, we may be able to bump that. But originally, our cash offer price was going to be in like the 1.25 range. And so obviously with where they need to be, which is, he said it's not even the list price, they just put the list price on there to get a bunch of bites. They don't want to be at 175, they want to be at 19. Okay. But what he's really saying is their mortgage right now is at 1.8. 1.9 sale price would give them what they need to cover his commission, closing costs, and pay off the loan. So that's really what he's saying. It doesn't mean that the purchase price needs to be at 1.9. He said what he's really telling you on that is that here are the qualifications and criteria that need to be met for the sale to go through, which is get the loan paid off, get the commissions and closing costs paid off, which you can do with creative financing, right? And so we were going to the sub 2. Luckily, I mean, this is kind of like a little unicorn situation, but he had already talked with the sellers. The sellers have already agreed to being open to basically whatever creative financing structure works for them to meet those qualifications. So why a sub 2 is going to work? Well, their interest rate is sub 3%. At least that's what he's saying it is. All right. So if you just look at it from a holding cost in renovation time scenario, if you're coming in with a private money lender who's going to fund not only the purchase but also the renovations, it's going to be a much higher monthly cost to float. And just at their 1.9 number, let's say, all right, we times that by let's call it 10% divided by 12. That's almost 16 grand a month just in your financing costs. Well, if we can get that at sub 3 as opposed to 10, well, we've just saved thousands and thousands of dollars per month in holding costs to be able to get this deal done. So that's why that makes this a little more enticing. We're just going to need to see if the ARV makes sense. So let me text this guy my email. I'm going to set up another task for my underwriter to take a look at this. So what he's going to do, the next steps for this are, okay, next steps for this are he is going to email me a mortgage statement. I need to see like actual numbers. He's just kind of giving me a roundabout, which is fine. That gets us close, but it doesn't allow us to underwrite it precisely. Sir Alan says everything looks in line. I think it's a deal. Yep, could be, definitely could be a deal. Like I said, the ARVs for the properties in the area are going to be the deciding factor. Because yeah, we're getting a good rate on our cash for the financing, but our ARV is going to support a flip after everything's said and done. That's really going to be the deciding factor here. And I'm not doing flips in San Francisco, but I know people who would want this type of deal. So we would most likely be assigning this. All right, let me just write a note here for our underwriter. All right, guys, give me 1 second here. All right, so we shall see. We shall see. Okay, what time is it? 11:40. All right. Okay. What was the note I wrote? Okay, yeah. All right, let me go back to that. I was just really just putting in notes from the call. I just let my underwriter know that he's going to be sending over the mortgage statement, and that the seller is very open to, if not preferring, creative finance. Kind of put around the numbers. If he doesn't get a mortgage statement to us quick enough, at least he can kind of run roundabout numbers. I just told him it's around 1.8, interest rates about 3%, and the commission of the realtor. Because at this point, our only entry fee to this deal is going to be the realtor commissions, the closing costs. And that's about it. So we need to know that as well. Okay, so hopefully that helped you answer that question. All right, let's continue on. All right, you got it, pilot. You got it. Okay, I'm going to be calling an older lead. I've got a call here in 20 minutes scheduled, but to fill the time, I'm going to be calling a older lead in Plainfield, Indiana. This lead was someone that we had actually, old as gold, Christian says. So this guy we actually had ready to go on a creative deal. Unfortunately, his daughter had health issues that he had to attend to back in December. And so really the point of this call that I'm going to be making is to reconnect and just kind of see like where he's at, mentally, see if his daughter's okay, just make sure everything's good, and then just reopen the conversation about selling, and see if it's something that we can start moving towards again. Because we were essentially right at the signing of the RPA, and all of this stuff happened. So here we go. And funny enough, his name is also Brad. So don't get confused.
Hey, it's Brad. Leave me a message and I'll call you back when I can. Thanks.
Leave a message.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Brad, what's going on, man? It is Brad Garcia, Chris's partner. Just wanted to reach out, and see how things are going. I know when we spoke last, or you and Chris had spoken last, you guys had discussed some health issues with your daughter. Just wanted to see how things are going, see if she's okay. And just see how you guys are doing. So give me a call whenever you can. If you guys are available, please reach me at 858-290-7525. Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon. All right, now let's move this task into maybe next month here. I want to push a call out. Actually, you know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up I'm going to set up an automated text to go out. We use a CRM called Forefront that allows me I have follow-up sequences in there that will send out automatic texts that will just send out the text for me. I don't have to remember it. I don't have to, make sure I'm getting that task done. So it just helps me get more things done without me actually having to touch it. But I want to put a text out for 2 weeks. That'll just ping him and see, if he maybe he's not answering calls, maybe he'll answer a text, Okay, moving on. At this point, I'm just filling space until my next call that I had scheduled, which is with San Diego seller. Okay. So next call is going to be next scheduled call that I had scheduled by our setter through text messaging. We got this lead through text messaging. Is going to be at 12 with the San Diego seller, but I'm actually going to be talking to Who should I call for? All right, I'm going to call Sandra in Terre Haute. So the kind of backstory on this is Sandra had a property that her primary residence that she ended up selling to, or agreeing to sell to, a military couple who were moving back into that area to move closer to parents. But she had mentioned she had another property for sale. I haven't been able to get into contact with her to discuss that property, so I want to reconnect with her and see if we can have a discussion about that. So this will be a discovery call on the second property.
I'll call you later.
I'm just going to text her. That was interesting. Voicemail message. Okay. Very direct, straight to the point. I like that, Sandra. All right, let me just text her, let her know why I was calling. Okay, just so you guys know what I said, I just texted her, said, hey, Sandra, was just trying to get back in touch with you regarding the property at blah, blah, blah. Are you still interested in selling that? And you know, kind of, because what I've found is that if you have sellers that have gone cold on properties, a lot of the times they just, you know, either are reconsidered selling or, you know, for whatever reason. And I just want to know if I'm like wasting my time getting back in touch with her. But typically, like unless it's like a really hot lead that I'm continuing to follow up with and we're in communication with, if they haven't gotten back to me after a couple calls, I'm just going to throw that in an automatic follow-up sequence so that I'm not having to waste my time to spend on these follow-up calls and texts. So I'll just let the automation do the work for me. I'm going to set it up into a follow-up sequence that sends out a text. It'll send one out tomorrow, and then it'll send one out 3 days later, and then it will send one out 7 days later, up to 12 days. And then it will pop it into another sequence that follows up every 2 weeks. And so it's bouncing around perpetually into different kind of random follow-up sequences. And we've set that up so that it's not getting hit at a regular interval. You know, it seems like it's you know, it's actually like a real person texting them. But you know, we've had properties, deals come through that way that have been in the follow-up sequence for a year and a half, 2 years, where it was just bouncing around, and they finally reached back out. In fact, it wasn't a year, it was 9 months. This property, I'm actually hopping back on with them next Monday. That one will probably just be a cash deal, but they reached back out after about 9 months of follow-up through I think it was a 30-day follow-up. So, you know, they just continually got texts, and finally they're like, hey, we're ready to sell. You know, what's the next step? And I spoke with them yesterday. So never discount unless a seller, guys, you know, no just means no, not right now. You know, time is going to change circumstance. So unless a seller says stop, don't contact me, you know, I don't ever want to sell, don't talk to me ever again, like take me off your list, all those kind of keywords, unless they say something like that, it's just a no, not right now. All right, so I'm going to be calling. Okay, this was an on-market lead that I had gotten through Privy for a property that is listed just way too high for the ARV and the work needed. And I've been following up with this guy since January. I'm really just going to try to open this conversation back up to them being open to taking an offer around our number. Listed for, it's in Tampa, Florida. It's listed for $235. And our offer is going to be at $170. So stand by. Hope you guys are liking this. If you are, thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Oh, forwarded me. Let me double call him. I accidentally hit.
Hi, this is Dane Moore with the Howell Group.
All right, we're texting him too. Okay, just texted him. Just say, hey, Dane, wanted to see if you wanted to chat about Woodlawn. Seems like it's been a while. It hasn't moved. I'm sure you're ready to get this thing sold. What do we need to do to make that happen? You know, because at a certain point, the selling agent is the fiduciary of the seller, right? Okay, we've said that. But at a certain point, they're people and they need to feed their families. They're not in it for fun. They're doing it because they need to make money and provide. So at a certain point, once a listing's kind of sat stale for a while, your interests start to align more and more and more. And so if you can just communicate that with the selling agent that you want to get a deal done, you're here to buy a house, let's get that done. What do we need to do? It's going to start to, in their mind, just start to think like, hey, these guys may have a point, you know, I want to be done with this. You know, I've heard agents just be like, I'm so over this listing, I just need to get it done. And that is music to my ears. So let's kind of move them in that direction through the language that we use. Okay, I got 8 minutes before this next call, scheduled call. I'm going to be, before that, I'm going to be calling a lead that we got through launch control through texting. And the reason that this one got kind of put on hold was the seller got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. But let me know if you guys know what I'm referencing there. It's a meme. But she's kind of in a pickle because let me see here. She wants to buy a new house. And she wanted to do a couple of renovations to it. So she's needing an amount down that kind of kills the deal on the sell side of the property that she's selling. This was in Orlando. But you know, we were going to be doing the cash deal doesn't make sense. So we were going to be trying to get it sub 2 and most likely wrap it. So again, this is going to be more of a reconnect. Israel, what's up, brother? How are you? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that. I got bronchitis. All right. This lady's name is Damaris.
Please leave your message for 321-333-8040.
Hey, Damaris, what's going on? It's Brad Garcia. Just wanted to pop back in and see if I could get you on the phone to talk about your property on Pine Fork Drive and see if we could get something, just something's drawn up that makes sense for both of us. So yeah, I know you had bronchitis. I hope you're doing well and not going through that anymore. Give me a call if you've got a couple of minutes, and we can see if we can work something out that makes sense. Number's 858-290-7525. Talk to you soon. Okay, at this point, again, I've already tried to get a hold of her. All of these kind of like old follow-ups are me trying to get in touch with them via phone call and manual texts. And so at this point, it's kind of like, hey, we need to just like not waste our manual effort on it and just let the system do it. So again, putting that in an automated follow-up sequence to do the work for me, because it's coming from my number. It's essentially me. I'm just not having to actually push the number. Israel, been on YouTube recently. Truly, hey, appreciate the kind words, brother. I'm glad you guys are getting value out of the content. We got a lot more to come. Yeah, we are definitely pumping out some good stuff here coming soon. So I appreciate you guys, your kind words, and thanks for being on. You know, I love being able to give value to, you know, guys who are doing what we're doing or trying to get started, or, you know, we're already been doing it and just want to get a look at what other guys are doing and how it may differ from them. Yeah, any questions, please? All right. All right, this guy was pretty confrontational. You know, he yeah, I'm gonna call him anyway because last time I talked to him was about almost 2 weeks ago on the dot, and I ended up giving him kind of roundabout numbers, trying to do a creative deal with him, trying to do a sub 2 of a property that he just bought. So yeah, backstory on this one, he just bought it in June of 2022. He's in the military. They're having him transfer. So it is a, actually, I take that back. It's not a VA loan. It is conventional, which was surprising, but I ended up just texting him some numbers and being like, hey, you know, like this is kind of what we can do. And then he said he would get back to me, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So just kind of want to see where he's at. Hey, Adam. Hey, what's going on, brother? It's Brad Garcia.
I'm sorry, who?
It's Brad Garcia. We spoke about 2 weeks ago about your place on Green Meadow.
Oh, man, I can't talk right now. I'm 3 minutes from starting the Zoom meeting.
Oh, no worries. No worries. When would be a good time to call you back?
I have no idea, man.
Right.
Honestly, I'm not even in town for about the next 3 weeks. But about 4 days, maybe.
All right. Should I get a call? Give you a call in about a month or so?
Yeah, you can try back in about a month or so.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, honestly, this guy's not that motivated, you know. But you know, if we can get a creative deal, I'd love to pop on. So let's see here. Putting that for May. Really just cleaning up my test. Okay, you know what? It's 12, guys. So let me get on this appointment. Let me run through, because I actually haven't even seen this lead yet. All right, San Diego. Guy's name is Brian. Let me clear some of this stuff out. Hold on. All right, notes from the setter. This is also a launch control text lead. So let's see here. Notes from the setter on that is going towards a new business. He wants to keep it as possible. He's on a tough spot right now. Tough spot in his career and owning the property, so he needs the money. All right, I think I know what she's trying to say. I think he's got a new job maybe, and he'd like to keep it, but he needs money. So tough spot. All right. Expectation of value. Wants to sell ASAP. He would not give us an expectation of value. It's currently occupied by a renter. Okay. So yeah, so that would point to a need for a large amount of cash now. If he's got a renter in there, I'm sure he's at least paying the mortgage, if not cash flowing a little bit. Okay, foundation, good. No plumbing or electrical issues. It's a 2003 roof. So we're kind of nearing the back end of the roof age, depending on the, let me see what the pictures look like. Oh, that's like Spanish style tile. So those actually last a long time. Oh, you know what? Check this out, guys. Boom. That's nice. Man, not a lot of value add here. And per the notes, the kitchen could be updated, but if that's it, I mean, he's just got really expensive taste, I guess. 169 is the Zestimate. Man. All right, interesting. Not sure if this should have been pushed over, but again, guys, you know, you're not going to get a perfect lead every time, and it would be what's the word? Not smart, you know, to not take a look at everything that you get pushed over to you. Dang, this thing's being rented for $8,500 a month. Mortgage balance is 1.5. And let's see what the underwriting came in at. Oh. Yeah. Cash price is probably coming under about 35,000 lower than if his mortgage balance is on the like 1.5 on the dot, we're coming in about 35 grand under, you know, with the small amount of rehab. It is a larger property. So like this would, you know, just be for touch up, more of like a wholesale scenario than anything, with an ARV of about 1.8. Okay, so here's the strategy that I think I'm going to go into this with. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay. So he went through a divorce that's put him in a bad spot. But he's open to creative, and that's really the route he wants to go, per the setter's notes. So we'll take that with a grain of salt exactly. But man, I'm curious to see really what we can do, because there's a couple things we can do. We need to know this is basically turnkey. So if we can pick this up with a renter in place at the price that he has at his mortgage, basically doing a subject to again. I don't know the specifics, but if he's got rent at 8,500, it's just going to depend on the terms of the mortgage. So we could go the subject to route, which would be really nice. I mean, if we could pick this up again with tenant in place that That's going to just be a good smooth transition to cash flow day one. But if that doesn't work, what I'll probably end up pivoting to is, because this is in San Diego, I've got a great relationship with a rock star agent who would probably be able to sell it on market for, around that 1718 number, which would net him money. How much, I'm not exactly sure. But a couple hundred, at least 150,000 in his pocket. And if he's hurting for money, then that's going to be the case. So let's see where it goes. Guys, if you're just now hopping on, give us a like. Let me have my questions.
Hello.
Hey, bro.
Hello. Oh, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, brother? I'm good. How are you?
Leave a message. Oh, actually, please text me. That'd be better.
Dude, you got me. I didn't know people still did that. Man. All right, we're going to double call him. You got me with the voicemail. Very funny, Brian.
Hello. Hello. Oh, how you doing? Just kidding. Leave a message, or actually, please text me. That'd be better. Thank you so much. Bye.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Brian, how's it going, man? It's Brad Garcia. You spoke with my assistant, Erica, about the property on Via Monteverde, and I just wanted to connect with you. Hopefully now is still a good time. If it is, give me a call back. I'll text you as well. If not, let's set up another time to chat. I'd love to see what we can do, on this property. So number is 858-290-7525. Thanks, boss. All right, let me text him as well. Okay. All right. Just give him a little quick elevator pitch in the text. And putting a task to make sure I don't forget to ensure that I reschedule with him if he doesn't call me back or text me back. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, sorry, just looking at my inbox there. I have a deal that was supposed to be closing on the 1st. They have to do a lien search. That's going to extend that to the 10th. All right. What else do we have here? All right, this guy, I actually need to call from my phone. Somehow we switched over, so he knows my phone number. I don't want to switch it over to my business line. Let me know if you guys can hear that.
Please leave your message for
Okay, no worries. Let me call him from the business line so you guys can hear. Hopefully he answers this one.
Please leave your message for 95485768800.
Hey, German, what's going on, man? It's Brad. Just wanted to connect with you. This is my business line. I just called you for my personal cell as well, but wanted to kind of see where we were at with Northwest 55th. So just give me a call back, let me know, or text me, kind of let me know where you guys are at with the tenant situation. 858-290-7525. Thanks, boss. Yeah, just on that one, there was a so we were close. We've got it at a hey Mike, what's going on, brother? Hey, I'll get back to you. I know you texted me. I'm just, hey, I'm doing a live, you know what I mean? So but yeah, so we were close on this deal at a outstanding number. The only problem, there was a couple problems. So unfortunately, the daughter had some really bad medical complications. She was the one that was living in the house with a cousin, I think, and she ended up passing away, unfortunately. And so they kind of stopped that. And then he contacted me again and said, hey, they're ready to sell. And so we were starting to get that back started, getting that ball rolling. And then the cousin that was living in there ended up saying, you owe me X, Y, and Z. I'm not leaving until you guys pay me, you know, this percentage of the house, or I'm staying. So that's where we're at with that one. Unfortunately, it's going to be a great deal if they can get them out, you know, but just got to stay on top of it. You just got to stay on top of it. All right, moving on. Mike, glad to have you on here, man. Thanks for popping on. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I had a call scheduled at 12. Let me see what else I got scheduled for today. Oh, interesting. One in New Hampshire. Oof, didn't even know we were marketing out there. Got a couple new setters, so we're going to have to dial them in. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, here's one in Jax. This one was actually, I think I got this one privy. Let me see if it's still available. Yep, still active. We've been playing phone tag. And let me just see where we were going to be at. Why I wanted to switch to, oh, you know what? I don't have it here. Nice, dude. Nice, man. That's awesome. Guys, you see Mike in the chat is talking about launch control. We got him set up with our marketing launch accelerator package. He's on the pro package. This man is doing 2,500 texts a day. We got him set up with all the templates for all the campaigns and automations that he needs to just hit the ground running. This guy is a madman, like he said. And I have I have high hopes and to see him doing some deals here very soon, as well as partnering with us on those deals when he brings them in, because we do JV. So if you guys are interested, you know, in fact, let me drop this in the chat for you guys. If anybody's doing deals, you know, Mike included, of course, and you guys need help dispo, I'm actually going to drop this in the chat right now, and we'll try to get this on the description as well after the video's gone live. But this is our JV web form. So if you guys ever have any deals you need help dispoing, drop it in this web form. I'll have my dispo manager take a look, and we'll get that deal out and sold for you. Okay, back to what I was doing, Mike. So glad to hear that, buddy. You're an animal. Okay, I got so many different things popping open. All right. I just need to look at where we were at on this one before I give this guy a call. So the background again, privy lead, mass email offer that got sent out, you know, and we've been going back and forth. I don't think this property was going to be something that we'd be able to do cash on. Man. Oh, man. Okay, hold on real quick. Let's see where we're at here. 1,100 square feet on 14.5 square foot lot. In an area with lower property values, that'd probably be in the higher range for sales. Let me just do what would this need? This is going to do, you know what? Hey guys, here, this is part of my privy process anyway. So let me just show you guys what I'm doing over here. Hold on, who's calling me?
Call from Forefront, please.
Hello, it's Brad.
Hey, Brad. Brian Jennings, how are you?
Oh, Brian, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. So, can you remind me who Erica is? And I forgot. I don't know who you guys are with or what's going on here.
Oh yeah, Erica's my assistant. You guys spoke on looks like it was last week, maybe, about the property on Via Monteverde. She just got some information for me and said you were interested in selling.
Oh yeah. What's your company name?
Lazarus Property Group.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. I like your name.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's Lazarus from the Bible. Like he got resurrected. We resurrect properties from the dead. Or deals.
Let's do it.
Oh man, yeah. Hey, I have to admit, in full transparency, you did fool me with your voicemail. You got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries, man. No worries. I thought that was funny.
Brad, I have this like really boring voicemail for so long. I'm like, I'm gonna like just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Just get anybody who actually calls you. Mess with them a bit. I love it. Well,
yeah, I'm a strong believer. I actually had a ministry for 23 years called Walking on Water.
Oh, amen. Praise the Lord. That's awesome.
I was a professional surfer when I was younger, and then I produced 12 movies. Through my nonprofit, we raised like $8 million over like 15 years, and we were able to go share the gospel around the world. And now I'm working on a Hollywood production. It's been a big step of faith. I actually am driving to a meeting right now with I think these guys are a couple, the third movie production team that is interested in our movie. I think they want to fund it. So it's exciting, but it's been a really difficult step of faith for me. And I'm in a really tight spot trying to figure out my house now.
Praise God, man. That's so awesome. I love working with other believers, man. That's so cool to hear.
Oh, cool, yeah. So here's where I'm at in my house.
Yeah.
I owe 1.5 million. I owe 1.5 million in the home. I think it's worth around $2.05 million right now. I live in the property. It was a rental at the time. I've owned it since 2003. If I could do anything right now, I would probably, I'd probably just get like a line of credit, actually, but I haven't been able to do that. Because I'm in between my income self-employment. So it's not a steady income with 2 years of tax returns, you know. So That's been difficult. So my next option would be I'm open to really anything creative. I'm open to an investor. I'm open to like it needs an upgrade on the kitchen and maybe a couple bathrooms, and then it would be worth a bit more money, I think, on a resale. So that's an idea. So I'm really at a moment of like, just okay, God, what are we doing here with this house?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, in his divine providence, we are on the phone. So, hopefully we can get something done.
amazing.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you like to do? What's your with property like this?
So a couple things, because I was looking at the property, and it's not. I mean, I have pictures from Zillow. I'm actually in San Diego, so getting out to the property wouldn't be a problem. But before we get there, I kind of wanted to lay the foundation of like kind of, what you need, what you're looking to do, and what we can do with you. But looking at the property pictures on Zillow, I if these are accurate, I don't see a ton of value add opportunity. This is more of a turnkey property that would be used more as a rental, like you were. What was the rental rate you had it at before?
Yeah, no, it'll rent right now, I think, for $8,500.
Okay, and is that what your mortgage is right now?
No, no, I have a bad interest rate. I have a 7.5% interest rate, so my mortgage is like 10 grand. So it's not good right now.
Oh man. Okay.
I'm getting crashed. So here's the thing, Brad. I went through a divorce 3 years ago. I owned this house before I ever met my ex-wife, but I put her name on the title 10 months before our divorce. Then when we settled, it was at the height of the market. It's really, really unfair. So I've definitely had some venting sessions with God. Like, God, you know how unfair that was. Because we settled on my house when it was worth like $2,150,000, something like that.
Yeah.
And then now I think it's only worth $2,050,000. And when I had to buy her out, I was in between my career, so my income didn't look good, and I had to get basically a hard money loan, and I ended up paying her out. And now I have this high interest rate and high mortgage payment. It's killing me right now.
Yeah, that's $10,000 a month is not a ideal situation for anybody.
So I either need to sell my house or I need a partner that can help me get a better interest rate and come in. Like the best I think would be somebody that can help me get a better interest rate and also come in as a partner on the house. So I get a little bit of cash right now. And now I have a partner on the property. And then we, agree to sell the property in 3 years or 5 years or buy each other out, however that works.
All right. Let me ask you this, Brian. In a perfect world, what would you like need out of the property? How much are you looking to not sell for, but like what do you need in your pocket to do what you're trying to do with the new venture?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think to make it worth it, like to actually bring somebody in as a partner now on this property and everything, probably $100 grand. Probably like $100 grand of cash. I don't need that much right now. And to be honest with you, like how this meeting goes today, could change that number after today. I might actually not need anything because if this movie deal happens, then they would be paying me a good amount to direct the movie and produce the movie.
Okay.
But it hasn't happened yet. So
Right. Can't bank on it yet. Yep. All right.
So I'm just going to say, as of today, as of this moment right now, yeah, I'd say $100 grand cash, and then whatever that equals in ownership of the property. Now you own that amount of the property, and then in like whatever amount of years, we'd have an agreement where I either buy you out, and you make whatever, however that works. or we sell the property and it's just agreed upon. Okay. That's what we're doing. It's on the date.
Now, let me ask you this, because obviously like 10,000 a month, like we talked about, it's probably, not going to be the best, most ideal situation for you now. If there was a way that we could take that over for you and get you that 100K in your pocket, are you okay with not staying in the property? Because it sounds like right now your goal is to stay, but
no, I think that would actually be my first choice. Would be want to because the answer is not like, let's say I got it's so interesting talking to you, but if I got a line of credit, then it doesn't solve my problem, right? Because I have some cash, I moved out, I rented out, I'm still losing $1,500 a month.
yeah.
It still doesn't make sense, right? But with this, yeah, if someone like could come in, lower the interest rate, get me 100K cash, now the property's at a break even, or making a little bit of money every month, whatever we can get it down to. Yeah, that would be the ideal situation. I would then move out, which I want to do anyway. So yeah, no, I'm totally fine with moving out. I don't need to be in this big house by myself right now. I met an amazing woman. So we've been dating for 4 months, and she's just incredible. So eventually,
It's awesome.
I hope I get to marry her. She's just like such an incredible person. So I think eventually that's where I'm going. So I would like to go find a place in La Jolla with maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms and just go rent something. So that would be perfect.
Have you, I know you try to do a HELOC, right? And the qualifications for that are a little different, but have you tried to do like a cash out refi? Yeah. And that didn't work either?
No, it didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. They want to see more. I mean, without lying, I can lie and try to get it to work, but I'm not going to lie.
Right. Of course.
But I was paid a lot of money in the last 3 months. I was paid like $25,000 a month. But that was
Oh, did I lose you?
I don't.
Oh, there.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, sorry.
So look great on my bank statements the last 3 months. I got paid like $25,000 a month, something like that. But
Okay.
but that's just 3 months, and that's employment payments from my movie.
Right.
So from my movie LLC. So it's not a world that's friendly to entrepreneurs when you're trying to refi.
Right. Yeah, self-employment's hard. When you're trying to prove income, that's definitely tough. Okay, gotcha. When would you be trying to get all this done?
As soon as possible, like quick,
Okay,
like fast.
super fast. Okay, that's not out of the question. If we had to come down on that 100K in your pocket, would you be okay with that?
Yep, we can figure out a number. And again, Brad, that's just where like it comes down to how this meeting goes today.
Right.
And but yeah, I'm open. I'm open to coming down. That's just my comfort zone.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah. Let me ask you this: if this meeting does go well, are you even going to be wanting to sell, or is that still going to be something that you'll be pursuing?
Well, or keep it. You mean like partner and keep it, and then sell it eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like to answer your question, I don't know if I broke up there. If the meeting goes well today, and eventually this meeting's going to go well. Like I know I can share the story with you, but like this movie's going to happen. But it's just a matter of when. But back to answer your question, my house doesn't make sense right now. So I'm wondering. That's where honestly this phone call is the only thing that's made sense to me. In the last week of 2 weeks of trying to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do here? What are we doing here? Because the only other thing would be to sell my house and then do a 1031 exchange and with somebody like you or an investor and go, hey, let's go buy something else. And I'll use all my equity or some of my equity to go buy something else. And let's go get some property that generates a good income. I think that's another idea I've had because I like doing real estate deals. And
Yeah.
I know a lot. I know a lot of wealthy people, and I bring them together sometimes. So I'm going to be putting my efforts into not only making a movie is difficult. It's risky. Investors don't love it, but real estate deals are great. And
Yeah.
people are used to it.
Yeah.
So I'm good at that. I'm good at bringing people together. People with a lot of money trust me. They know me. I know them. And then if I just bring them a good looking property, I'm going to get some yeses out of them. So anyway, those are the only two things that look good. But I'm emotionally attached to my house because it's a gorgeous home. It's on the corner. It's the best house in that neighborhood. It's on the park. It was the model home. I've owned it since 2003, and I know it's going to continue to go up in value long term. This is a great property. So if I was able to do a deal, I think my number one choice would be to do a deal with someone like you so that I can keep this house. What this does in my mind, just to be honest with you, is it's buying me time to then be able to have an option later to either buy you out and keep this property, or just sell the property later when it's the right time, but not to have to do it right now just because.
Got it. Okay. So, I mean, there's a couple options that are just popping into my mind because we have in the past, that there's the option of the sub 2 where we come over and take over your mortgage payments. We give you, a certain number of your equity. You're talking about 100K. I'm not sure if that's the number, but you get money in your pocket and we take that over. Now that seems in this scenario a little less than ideal because of the high interest rate and the inability to cash flow a long-term rental. So another option we could have is some type of partnership where we come in, we do the renovations as you continue to hold the property, and then we partner on the retail resale. And so we're able to push the value and split the profits, when we were able, after we push the value. The third option, and this is always on the table. It's not, necessarily the best option, right now, but it could be, is either way, we're going to be using a real estate agent to either sell now or sell when we push the value and do the flip. But it could be a scenario where we just do an outright sale on the market, and, I bring in an agent that can get you top dollar. That's, in La Jolla. She's in the top 1% of agents and sells all my properties for top dollar. So that could be an option that we leave in our back pocket in case anything else doesn't work out.
Yeah. And on that, I have my sister's a realtor and I have a couple others. So that's definitely not my first option.
Right.
I definitely for sure. So how does it work with the option? If you were to take over the mortgage, try to lower it, give me some cash. How does that work? Is it? I'm trying to figure out what percentage of the home do you own this? Do we just do the math on the value of the home today, and then the amount of equity? And then out of that equity, how much cash you're putting into it. There's a value on that. And then there's a value on the fact that you're taking over the mortgage as well. How does all that work?
Yeah. So essentially what this is called is a subject to transaction. And so what'll happen is the mortgage would stay in place so that we can take over payments. So we'll be paying the payments monthly. We would come to an agreement on what you want in your pocket. So we'd pay that to you, and then title would transfer. So the ownership would transfer of the property. You get the $10,000 a month payment off your back, and then we get you the amount of money that you'd be happy with in the property. So everybody wins in that scenario typically, because you're not bleeding $10,000 a month. You get money in your pocket, and you're out from under the payments.
Yeah.
So, but in that case, title does transfer, right? So I would technically own the home. The debt would just stay in place, but we would be servicing that debt every month.
Own the home, or is that, do I own any of the percentage of the home anymore, or am I paid off and that's all I get?
Nope, that would be a title transfer. So at that point, you'd be walking away with whatever we agree to. But that's a scenario that has helped sellers that have been in your position in the past that have a high interest rate and high monthly payment that need to sell quickly and want to just get out from under it. But it allows an opening for an investor like me to come in and say, hey, doing it this way, the numbers make sense. Otherwise, with a cash scenario, the numbers just wouldn't make sense for either one of us. Because in this case, if we were to do a cash deal, I probably wouldn't even be able to cover the mortgage. So it doesn't work for either one of us. Yeah. So that like I said, because the interest rate's so high, and your rent ability versus what you're paying monthly, you're negative. Probably not the most ideal scenario, although there are exit strategies that are on the back end for us to take advantage of that would allow us to possibly refinance, get a lower interest rate, so there is potential there. But I think like what you've been talking about, which is the partnership, is probably a better way to go for everybody, because at this point now we're just splitting the profit on the back end. You're holding the property for the time that we're doing the renovation. We come to an agreement on a price, and then we're just, we come to the table with the renovation, the team and the funds to get it done. You're having to wait a little bit, of course, to get the proceeds, because we have to do the renovation and then sell it on the market to get top dollar for it. But that's the best way to maximize what you walk away with.
Right. Yeah. What about a partnership where you refi it with, you're coming in with the value of being able to refi. So now we have a lower interest rate, a lower payment, and you put up some cash to be part owner of the house. Now we got the payment down to more like $8,000 a month, renting it for $8,500 a month. You put $100,000 into it of cash, and then we do the math on it.
Well, I think I just lost you for the last 10 seconds, Brian, but I think what you were talking about was like a, some type of equity split on the ownership, and I'm not sure. I won't say no at this point, but because the loan is in your name, there's nothing that I would be able to do to refinance it for you. From what I understand, there's no way for me to come in and refinance debt that's in your name. We would just have to get like a new loan or something in that case. But for that,
yeah,
interest rates are still not great, you know what I mean, right now. So I think the last time I looked, they were at 6.75, 6.6, somewhere around there. So lower, but not that much lower, and really not ideal. So I think the next step for us would be, if you're open to it, would be to come by the property to kind of get a hands-on look at it, to really see what we could do to it to push the value. And I really want to see what my agent says about if we were to put money into it, what I could resell it for, because that's what's going to dictate whether or not it makes sense to do all the renovation and then do the resale. But I really think like that type of partnership agreement is going to get us both, have it make sense for both of us, get the most out of it.
In that situation, so what does that look like? So let's say that you put $200,000 into the renovation. So we have to agree on what the home is worth right now, and then let's just say you put $100,000 of renovation, and then let's say after that it sells for $300,000 more than it would have before. So you get your $100,000 back, and there's $200,000 of extra money. do we split that extra 200 grand? Is
Yes.
that how that works?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then also in that situation, do I get any cash up front or do I have to just wait?
Yeah, typically in that scenario, everyone is waiting to get paid. Because we're going to be coming to the table with, I mean, 100 grand in renovation costs. We're kind of at risk there. So our skin in the game is going to be that rehab budget plus all the work that we're putting into it. So everybody's waiting to get paid at that point, but that's typically how we're going to push the value to a point that makes you pocket more money.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think right now, our next step would be just to like schedule time to come out there. I really want to get my agent that I trust and know who would probably do the resale for us to get an idea of what we could resell it for. And that way we kind of know like, all right, what type of rehab is it going to take to get to that point? And then, work out the numbers that way. But I think that's kind of where we're at now.
Okay, so basically all you would gain in that scenario is whenever the value of the home increases.
Yeah,
the increase of the value.
Right, we're doing a profit split on the back end, so we'll get paid our renovation back. The loan gets paid off, the realtor gets paid, and then we'll split the profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and in that scenario, do you have to have your realtor, or are you okay if I did not use your realtor?
We have a really good relationship with this agent, very long-standing relationship. I trust her. And like I said, she's in the top 1%. I wouldn't work with her if she couldn't get us top dollar. So I'd really like to use her. If we were going to be doing all the work to get it, that would make me feel a lot more comfortable, in whatever valuation we come up with.
Sounds good. Well,
Okay.
that means I'm open. So just you guys let me know what day and time you want to meet.
Yeah.
And I can meet you at the house.
Let me, you're in it right now, right? It doesn't have a renter in it. So, would this Friday at like 2:30 work for you?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, if anything changes, let me know before then, but I'll set it up for this Friday at 2:30, and it'll be me, the agent Jecca, and my partner Chris. We'll all be coming out there to meet with you, do the walk, and kind of plan for next steps.
And also, until then, please also be thinking about that other potential deal, just because that's the one that I would be the most excited about. Is if you were able to somehow figure out a deal that works, where you guys are like an equity partner with me. We put some cash up, and then I don't know, maybe I take the risk on the payment or something, or I lose that money, something like that. So you guys don't have to worry about that. I don't know, but like something like.
Well, I think I lost you again. Sorry. Yeah. No worries, man. Chris is kind of going to be the guy that's driving that vehicle on creative ways to split this up.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring all this information to him and kind of game plan based on our conversation. But either way, we're still going to need to kind of get eyes on it and see what plans we can come up with to really push the value one way or the other.
Great. I think I'm losing here,
Yeah, I think you are too, but we're good for this Friday at 2:30, right?
Yeah, see you Friday at 2:30.
All right, brother. I'll be praying for that meeting that goes well. Hopefully that just happens.
Thank
and we'll be good. But yeah. But hey, Brian, appreciate your time, man. I'll see you on Friday.
Thank you, Brad.
All right, take care. All right, guys. So that was a great call. Seems like there's a lot that we could potentially do. And again, I'm just, just happens to be that some of today we're getting agents and sellers who are open to creative and are pushing me to do creative deals. So I love that. I think there's a lot of potential here, especially in the way that the San Diego market is right now. It's insane. I know that property values are continuing to increase. I've seen like just straight up fixers that are going for 150K over list price, for completely outdated dumps, just because the inventory is so low and demand is remaining high, because buyer sentiment is like, hey, you know what? We want to get into a deal. We want to get into a home, and we're just going to refinance at a later date. So they pretty much are just, they don't care at this point. They just need to get into a home, Mike. Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, absolutely will. I'll keep you guys on the loop on any of these deals that come on. Hopefully we can do case studies on them. Just so you guys know, again, this lead came in from Launch Control. So the program that Mike is using to find deals and text and market to prospects. That's how we came across this guy, and hopefully we can get something done. So yeah, appreciate that, Mike. We'll definitely let you know. So I've been on here for about an hour 45 so far, guys. I actually have to hop on another Zoom meeting. But I appreciate you guys popping on. If you guys are looking at this on the recording after the live, please let me know if you guys got value. Mike, Israel, Kenneth, who else? Sir Alan, everybody that was kind of interacting with me. I appreciate you guys so much for being on. Everybody else that's watching. The web form link I linked in the comments, and we'll make sure that's in the description. If you guys have deals that you need to dispo, please use that link. That'll send it to us, and we'll take a look at it, do an underwrite, and see if it makes sense to push out to the buyers. And we'll get your deal sold for you. But other than that, guys, again, I appreciate your time and being on with me. I got to get to this other meeting. But I will see you on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. We're going to be doing the Feedback Friday on what? Not exactly sure yet. But other than that, I will let you guys go. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Remember to keep it easy. Take care.